Well, New York, that's my message. You can't beat us.
It's great to be in New York and see all my friends I haven't seen for the year, and it's great to dance with people who actually want to dance. Here it seems to be like total excitement all the time, which is just kind of a blast to be around.
So year 3, Maz and I started everything together. That was a pretty big year. It was like the radio department, I think Cats on Fire played, Suburban Kids, biblical names, and now year 6.
I have friends that come from Europe and Australia and all over the place, and it's sort of a indie pop mecca, kind of running into everyone that I haven't seen for the past year, and it's just kind of nice to catch up with everybody and see all my favorite bands.
I guess ever since we started, it eventually got a little bit bigger. Like there's more press every year. People are catching on.
Like last year, Hello Darlin' ended up on the front page of the New York Times, I think it was. So that's kind of big for an indie pop band that for that past year barely anyone kind of knew of. So I think that's kind of crazy. Yeah, but it's definitely gaining in popularity. It has been since probably like 2004, I think. It's just been getting bigger and bigger. I see more and more people here that I don't know every year, so I think that's a good sign.
We also have bands coming in from like Australia, the Philippines. Last year we had Japan. So it's pretty incredible. I mean we're aiming for like, hoping to find pop bands everywhere, maybe South Africa or South America or maybe South Korea or something like that. So it's crazy how the indie pop itself, it's all over the world. I mean, the Pains of Being Pure Heart played our first year, then second year. Now, you guys know how big they are. The Drums played their first show ever with us. Even the radio department, like they were sort of like a cult thing, and all of a sudden they were playing Coachella like just a couple months later. So stuff like that happens with the bands that play here.
I've actually only seen one band so far. I missed the first night. It's a Cola Jet Set or Jet Set Cola. Can't remember the order of the name, but they were amazing. It was one of the funnest shows I've ever been to. Everybody was dancing their ass off, and it was great to see.
For me, when I saw Cola Jet Set coming all the way from Spain, they had a really good crowd. It must be amazing for them to be like, wow, we're playing in New York, one of the biggest cities in the world, to a really pop-driven crowd.
Also really excited to see the Pooh, which is one of my all-time favorite bands, and the fact they reunited is incredible.
It's amazing to be back here, and it's amazing to think of people even vaguely interested in acoustics, like 24 years later. But I thought I was a very young man when I stopped doing it, so I thought I'd do a few shows before I am too officially old and decrepit to look really embarrassing on stage. But maybe I'm not the one to judge that, so.
Not excited to see the Pooh. It's going to be great, as long as they play on tape. I think they would know a lot of people would be disappointed if they didn't play it. That and maybe indie pop is a noise pollution.
They've asked me before, I think at least once, maybe twice, and I only turned them down because I was afraid of getting sent to Guantanamo. This time I thought, oh fuck it, I'll risk the orange jumpsuit. And I'm glad that I did, because they're just lovely people to work with. I know it's a bit of a cliche, but they get what the music's about and they understand it all.
I think unlike playing other things where you feel it's very competitive, this has they've really established a very friendly atmosphere. It does feel really a lot about the music, and it's really nice. And I think people are really supportive. It just has a very different feel from other festivals.
This is like an indie pop thing. I think it's quite interesting when you got groups from, original groups playing with the contemporary bands.
I absolutely recommend it. It is, I can immediately tell it's a blast, and just going across Brooklyn and Manhattan, it's worth it for that. Especially like if you're from out of the country, do so. It's like the best way to see it.
Yeah, I'd recommend it to people. It's good. You come to New York City and you hang out with rock stars. You can't beat it.
It's a really good feeling, I think, afterwards, where it's like, wow, we just did another year. And every year, we already start thinking about it much sooner than we expect to. Like, I think this year we actually got together maybe only 2 months after we finished. So it's a pretty good feeling. It's like sometimes you get kind of tired, but then it's still like you got a little rush of like, oh, I want to do it again right afterward.
In every different country I've been in, there's small scenes of people who have their heart in the right place. And it's nice that because of the net now, those people are more interlinked than before. So you have the various pop fests like Madrid Popfest and London Popfest and New York Popfest. Then you have people like Cozy Den in Sweden, and you have their own scene in Finland. And it's all these people who are all basically anarchists, whether they are consciously or not. But a lot of people probably more anarchists in terms of ethics and aesthetic. And that's the kind of people I feel comfortable working with, because it has to be about the music and the bands and the experience and taking care of the audience, And I think if anybody comes to a New York Pop Fest in the future, provided they like this kind of music, if all they like is like, death metal or something, they probably won't like it. But provided they like the music, they're going to have a great time. It's going to be fun, and they'll meet lovely people, and they'll probably end up having a lot of sex.